Good afternoon. My name is Dave Wilkes, President and CEO of BILD. I'd like to welcome members and guests to our first and hopefully last virtual chairs address, which marks the beginning of our 2021 events calendar. We're looking forward to continuing to deliver value to our members through these events, but we're also very much looking forward, hopefully in the fall of this year, to gathering again in person, shaking hands, saying hello, and sharing experiences. Today is a special day. We get to not only recognize our member volunteers for the contributions that they have made to advancing our industry through our association's goals and objectives. We also get to say thank you to our sponsors for the loyalty that they have shown us over a course of time, but in particular, the last year. And we also get to hear from our chair, Jason Sheldon from the Remington Group, on his goals and objectives for 2021. Before beginning, I'd also like to take a moment to thank a few of our special guests. From the Ontario Home Builders Association, I'd like to welcome Bob Schickendance, the president of the OHBA, and my colleague, Joe Vaccaro, their CEO. Bob and Joe, and indeed the entire OHBA staff and family, have been tremendous supporters for BILD throughout the last 12 months, and we work side by side in making sure that we deliver value to the members and inform them on the ever-changing nature of government regulations throughout the pandemic. Bob and Joe, welcome and thank you. I'd also like to say welcome and thank you to the Mayor of Oakville, His Worship Rob Burton, for joining us, and Councillor Mensch from Richmond Hill, who is also in the audience. Gentlemen, welcome and thank you for joining us. I'd also like to take time to thank our sponsors, who, as I mentioned, have stood loyally beside BILD and ensured that their support never wavered in the face of the pandemic and as we changed and pivoted to a virtual platform to delivering events. Today's sponsors are Travelers Canada, Enbridge Gas, and Caesarstone. Thank you for supporting our virtual chairs address. I also want to acknowledge the support of our marketing partners, Rogers, Caesarstone, Enbridge, Toronto Star, and Meridian Brick. MNP have renewed their commitment as our Why Build Young Builders partner and helping us bring important educational and networking opportunities to this important group that was the future of both our association and our industry. As my final thank you, I'd like to recognize our humanitarian champions, Caesarstone and Bell. We appreciate their support for the association's philanthropic goals. I'd also like to take this opportunity to say a special thank you to Bell for their ongoing support of their Let's Talk initiative. Let's Talk 2021 is tomorrow, January 28th. Mental health is more important than it ever has been. Making sure that this physical isolation does not become an emotional one. And I encourage you, all members, to reach out tomorrow as part of Bell's Let's Talk program and say hello, either by picking up the phone, by texting, by sending an email, not only to those that you are in regular contact with, but those that you haven't perhaps had the opportunity or made time to over the last several months. So let's talk. Let's talk a lot. Let's make sure that the support that we can give by being together, and as I said, shaking hands, does not limit the support we can give by simply saying hello. It is now my great pleasure to formally welcome and recognize the 95 companies that have joined our association in 2020. We appreciate your support and we welcome you to the association. In a change this year, we will be awarding our Why Build Leadership Award at this event. Why Build, our young builders, is an integral part of the association. This group is dedicated to industry professionals under the age of 40 and is focused on building the next generation of leaders and strong advocates who can speak on behalf of our industry. It is now my pleasure to welcome Jessica Lacey from MNP and Derek Saracini, Why Build's 2020 chair, to our virtual stage to present this year's Leadership Award. Jessica, Derek, the virtual stage is yours.
This year, the Why Build Leadership Award recognizes a BILD member who demonstrates exceptional leadership qualities, perseverance, and innovation to pivot and overcome challenges for success during the pandemic. Finalists are those who motivate and inspire the people around them to exceed expectations while helping their teams remain optimistic during these uncertain times.
I'm proud to be here to support our industry's young leaders on behalf of MNP. As an entrepreneurial firm, we value our diverse communities and recognizing quality. Congratulations to the following 2020 finalists for the BILD Leadership Award: Adrian DeGasperis, Arista Homes; Samson Fung, Tridel; Raza Jaffrey, 3D Cityscapes. And our award of those three goes to Adrian DeGasperis of Arista Homes. Congratulations to our finalists and to our winner.
As is customary at the annual Chairs Dinner, it is now time to acknowledge our member volunteers who have contributed to the industry's success over the last 12 months. For a membership-based organization like ours, volunteers are the lifeblood of the work we do. They contribute through our working on the board, our executive committee, chapters, and various policy and legal files. It is our pleasure to recognize the contributions that they have made to our association and our industry. It is now my great pleasure to welcome Cheryl Shindrick, our past chair, to the stage to present this year's awards. But before doing so, I'd like to continue with one of the great and enduring traditions we have at BILD, which is the unveiling of our chair's caricature. These caricatures hang proudly in the hallway outside of our boardroom and really symbolize the leadership that is provided by these individuals. Cheryl's caricature will reflect her leadership, the support that she has provided her colleagues and the staff, and the many accomplishments that BILD has had under her guidance. It is now my pleasure to share this caricature with our members. Cheryl, congratulations, and thank you very much, both personally and professionally, for the work that you have done on behalf of our association. It is now my great pleasure to welcome to our virtual stage BILD's past chair, Cheryl Shindrick. Cheryl, the stage is yours.
Dave, thank you. I am so honored to be included on that famous wall outside of the BILD boardroom with those who have gone before me to chart BILD's path and on whose shoulders we all stand today. So thank you so much. I want to thank you, Dave, in particular, and the BILD team for the incredible work that you do, supporting the board and giving life to the work of the association. So good afternoon, and thank you all for participating in this year's virtual chairs event. On January the 1st, I moved into the role of immediate past chair and passed the mantle of leadership of BILD to the capable hands of Jason Sheldon. Having worked closely alongside Jason for the past 2 years, I can assure you he is the leader our organization needs now. He is smart, and when he speaks with authority, he has integrity, and is deeply dedicated to the causes of our industry. I have seen firsthand the respect that Jason garners, whether from elected officials, public or private sector professionals, principals, or fellow industry colleagues. The strength of BILD lies in you, our members. Your support and volunteer efforts are the lifeblood of our association. And I am calling on all of you to support Jason and the board in the work that they do on your behalf. I am pleased now to be able to recognize some extraordinary members. This year, I am happy to announce that we will be presenting 2 awards, the Chair's Award of Merit and a BILD Member of the Year Award. So let's kick it off with the Chair's Award of Merit. Traditionally, this award is presented to a member or members who show outstanding commitment, often behind the scenes without looking for recognition. Rather, their passion for the industry drives them to volunteer their time, expertise, and knowledge, always in the midst of a busy day job, as it were. The first recipient of the Chair's Award of Merit is a staunch supporter of BILD for many years and the industry, who has provided his advice and expertise on countless files over the years. In 2020, as the provincial government introduced amendments to the Environmental Assessment Act, today's recipient generously volunteered his time and resources to help BILD and OHBA navigate through and understand the proposed changes. He was also the main point person to assist with the industry submissions in the lead up to the proposed changes. His advice and expertise were critical as the proposed changes were incredibly complex and there was a multitude of them. His work has benefited all the chapters, and we will continue to use his insights as the new policies are implemented at the municipal level. He helped our members to understand the changes through his video, which was used for the BILD OHBA Housing Supply Action Plan Conference 2.0. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's recipient of the Chair's Award of Merit, Mr. Steve Schaefer of SCS Consulting Group. It is now my pleasure to announce our Member of the Year Award. This will mark the first time in the history of BILD that an individual has been awarded Member of the Year twice. Today's recipient has been a member of the BILD board for longer than our records go back, and he has served as BILD's treasurer for the last 12 years. His contributions in 2020 went above and beyond the call of duty and helped to ensure that our association emerged from the financial impacts brought on by the pandemic. He worked tirelessly to support the association's effort to restructure our finances, and because of his insights and leadership, BILD has been put back on a strong financial footing. Throughout the year, he offered tremendous support to staff, always calm, always thoughtful, as they navigated through the uncharted pandemic waters, and he continued to be an unabashed advocate for BILD for all the work we do on behalf of our industry. Our Member of the Year Award is BILD's past treasurer, Howard Friedman. Please join me in congratulating Howard on this well-deserved award. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our chair, Jason Sheldon. Jason started his career in the public sector and soon found his calling in the private sector, eventually joining the Remington Group and the Brady family, where he has been for over 13 years and carries out the responsibilities of Vice President Land Development. He co-chaired the Halton chapter of BILD for 7 years, and during that time signed on to the greater responsibilities that come with serving on the board and the executive of BILD. In addition, he has served as second vice chair and first vice chair, a further demonstration of his dedication to the association and the industry. Jason capably juggles a lot. I have seen this firsthand, and he does so calmly and effectively. In addition to the demands of his professional life, in his spare time, he is coach of the Markham Soccer Club, further giving back to his home community. He is a well-rounded development professional who brings a wealth of industry experience to his role as chair, with a 360-degree understanding of industry issues as they intersect with public policy and process. He is thoughtful in his contributions and very impressively effective in his approach. He gets things done. He is the right leader at the right time for our association. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present your 2021-2022 chair of the Board of Directors of the Building Industry and Land Development Association for the Greater Toronto Area, Jason Sheldon.
Thank you, Cheryl, and good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be before you today in my first year, and in fact, my first public event as BILD's chair. As we start 2021, hopefully the last year in which COVID-19 will exert so much control on our society, lives, and businesses, it is my great pleasure to share my vision for the direction of BILD over the next 2 years. But before doing that, I wanted to take a few moments to acknowledge and thank Cheryl for her role as chair for the past 2 years, and especially over the difficult and trying times this past year. When a BILD member signs on for a board term, or to be an officer or chair of the organization, nobody could anticipate it requiring the time and dedication that 2020 brought. At the best of times, being chair of BILD is like having a second full-time volunteer job. But 2020 was like nothing we have ever experienced, and it took the demands placed on the chair to a new level. The pandemic brought significant challenges for the association, affecting the home shows and BILD events. The financial implications required 7 board meetings and 15 executive committee meetings, almost double and triple the normal number, respectively. as well as dozens upon dozens of meetings and discussions with partner organizations to navigate the crisis. This was in addition to working with the association's leadership team to right-size the organization and preserve mission-critical association services and advocacy. As we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel in this pandemic, I want you to know that it is the hard work and dedication of BILD staff, board and executive, under the tireless and steady hand of Cheryl as chair, that brought us where we are today. But that is far from all that was achieved under Cheryl's leadership. Since 2018, BILD has undergone a modernization of governance, experienced unprecedented government relations and advocacy success, launched landmark public education and industry reputation campaigns, and record-breaking virtual event attendance. I want to thank Cheryl, and I know that with her support and guidance as past chair, we will continue to achieve great things for the industry. Cheryl, a heartfelt thank you for everything you've done, and I look forward to continue working with you. And as is tradition, we would also like to present you with the gavel from your term as our chair, and as a symbol of the strong, steady leadership you provided to BILD and the association. I would like to now take time to welcome and recognize the individuals who will work hard on your behalf and generously volunteer their time on our board of directors. These volunteers bring their business and life experiences to the table, guiding BILD as it advocates for the industry and its priorities across the GTA. The names of our 2021-2022 board members will be displayed on the screen, and I thank each of them and their member companies for their time and service to the industry. They are, in alphabetical order, Alana de Gasperis, TAC Developments, Andrew Duncan, RioCan Real Estate Investment Trust, Cheryl Shindrick, Geranium, ex officio, Dwayne Butler, Master Edge Homes, Elliot Mutso, Morale Contractors, Hessam Gadaki, Times Group Corporation, Jude Tersini, Mankey's Developments Limited, Katie Schofield, Great Gulf Homes, Kevin Smith, Panasonic Canada Inc., Leora Margulies, Robbins Appleby LLP, Lou Orzem, Inspire Homes, ex officio, Lucy Stocco, Tribute Communities, Michael Begg, Bank of Montreal, and Scott McClellan, Plaza Court Investments Limited. Thank you, Board of Directors. It's an honor to be working with you all. Also, at our first board meeting following the annual general meeting, which took place on January 13th, the board confirmed the remaining officers of the organization. I am pleased to announce that for 2021-2022, joining me and Cheryl as officers of the board will be Katie Schofield of Great Gulf Homes, who has graciously agreed to the position of vice chair, Hessam Gadaki, Times Group Corporation, who has accepted the role of treasurer, and Leora Margulies, Robbins Appleby LLP, who will continue in his long-serving role as secretary of the board. Thank you, Katie, Hessam, and Leora. Your time and commitment as officers of the board is truly welcomed and appreciated. In addition to the incredible volunteer work of the board, BILD also benefits from the extraordinary volunteer work of our 6 chapters. They are involved in frontline municipal engagement where policy meets implementation. As we look to the municipal implementation of provincial policy changes, our chapters are truly the grassroots advocates of the organization. I would like to acknowledge and thank the chapter chairs for their service. In Toronto, Catherine Randall, Rockport Group, Gary Switzer, Mod Developments. In Halton Region, Shane Cooney, Addy Developments, Kevin Singh, Argo Developments. In York Region, Mike McLean, Fieldgate Developments, Gabe DiMartino, Trinity Point. In Simcoe County, Kim Taylor, Lorimel Homes. In Durham Region, Frank Filippo, Brook Valley Homes, Cordelucci Group. And in Peel Region, Katie Schofield, Great Gulf Homes, Gavin Bailey, Tridel. Thank you, chapter chairs, for your service across the GTA. It's great to see so many of the leaders in our industry volunteering their time. At this time, I would also like to extend a special thank you to the Remington Group and the Brady family for the many years of support and for affording me the opportunity to take on this challenge. I am immensely grateful for your leadership, encouragement, and trust. I would now like to take some time to look ahead at the next year and what we need to do as an industry and as an association. The last 2 years have seen our association grow in recognition and influence, and the outcomes achieved by BILD for the industry this year reflect this. As I've said before, BILD's primary responsibility is to work with all levels of government, stakeholders, agencies, and our industry members to deliver supply and choice of housing and employment spaces, deliver jobs, and be an economic driver across the GTA. But what does that mean from a policy and advocacy perspective, and in particular in 2021? To our first priority, we must do whatever is required to maintain our essential workplace designation, to keep the industry working and keep projects moving. As we all know, if we are required to stop work and put down our tools, the knock-on effects will be significant and will severely jeopardize our ability to meet demand in the short term and cause severe economic damage in the long term. To maintain our essential workplace designation, we as an industry must continue to respect the enormous responsibility that comes with that designation and continue, as we always do, to protect the health and safety of our workers. I know our members go above and beyond to keep sites clean and safe, maintain and respect all in-place health protocols, and continually be diligent and vigilant. And for that, we thank you. This priority will continue to require close coordination with the provincial government at the highest level and detailed, almost case-by-case advocacy at the municipal level. Our second key priority is to work with our chapters and the municipalities to translate all of the provincial regulatory changes and successes to action at the municipal level. This includes changes to parkland policies, implementation of community benefit charge bylaws, development charge bylaw reviews, growth plan implementation, municipal regional comprehensive reviews, and implementation of inclusionary zoning and other affordable housing policies. Our third priority is to continue our work with our partners at the Ontario Home Builders Association to further our advocacy agenda at the provincial level, including positively impacting the regulatory development under changes recently introduced on the role and mandate of conservation authorities under the Conservation Authorities Act. Lastly, we will focus on achieving success on key litigation files to protect legal precedent and to push back against overreach. OPA 352, City of Toronto Tall Buildings Policy, Tower Separation and Urban Design. TDSB's attempt to charge EDCs, which we are challenging at Divisional Court. EDC bylaw appeals, conformity to the Education Act, which will be heard at LPAT this year, and our appeal of the Town of Whitchurch-Stouffville's development charges bylaw. Given how the start of this year has unfolded, it is more important than ever that BILD remains the communications hub of the industry. As a state of emergency and emergency orders unfolded in mid-January, BILD reinstated its emergency COVID-19 communication protocols. Members can expect to continue to receive accurate, timely information on any changes from BILD first. BILD has reactivated the COVID-19 section of its website and populated it with the latest and most current information, divided into member resources, municipal updates, and provincial updates. As the year progresses, communication staff will also conduct a complete overhaul of the BILD website with an eye on increasing its functionality and utility. It will have a modernized look, enhanced search capability, and increased video capability. It will feature a searchable library by jurisdiction of all past bulletins, decisions, bylaws, and regulation changes and legal outcomes. For our renovator members, there are three key priorities in 2021. The first is to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Rental Mark program and its impacts on helping distinguish professional renovators and custom home builders and provide homeowners with peace of mind. Our second priority is to continue to roll out the professional renovator education program and ensure that 75% of renovator members have taken the program by the end of the year. This certification program was piloted and launched last year, and already we have other HBAs inquiring whether we can provide it for their membership on a fee-for-service basis. And our third priority is to take the marketing program we piloted last year and fully deploy it in Q1 of this year with a full print, radio, and social deployment. Our objective is to raise consumer awareness of Rental Mark and its benefits, and ultimately to increase the business opportunities for our renovator members. BILD turns 100 this year through its forerunner association, the Toronto Home Builders Association. This is a historic milestone and one we look forward to celebrating with the members, families, and organizations that have built this great region. I am honored and humbled to serve as chair during this pivotal time. We have a great lineup to mark this historic occasion. In April, we launch a 10-week print, online, social, and digital campaign with our partner, the Toronto Star. This campaign will feature 10 inserts, each covering a decade, placed once per week, celebrating the people, families, and companies that have built the GTA. This spring-summer edition of the Toronto Home Builder magazine will be a 100th anniversary commemorative edition, looking back at the history of the association. In the fall, we are planning to engage the community through a school contest, inviting children to design their ideas of complete communities and submit these to be judged by industry professionals. And of course, when we can gather, we are planning to have an event to celebrate this important milestone. Speaking of gathering, we are hopeful that with vaccine rollouts, our ability to network and celebrate will return. BILD is planning for this eventuality, and I ask that you put October 7th on your calendar for the 41st Annual BILD Awards. Of course, the pandemic will dictate whether we are able to hold this iconic event in person. However, we are hopeful and are working towards it. Also, I hope you will join us for our next major virtual event. On February 18th, BILD will be hosting the 2021 Condo Outlook. I'd like to conclude by thanking the membership for its ongoing support of the industry and the association through your continued engagement and participation. You have my commitment that as an association, we will continue to strive to deliver results and increase value to members and the industry. We have an ambitious agenda this year with many moving parts. Delivering on this agenda will significantly further our collective objective of supply and choice of housing and employment spaces, jobs, and economic growth. As we look forward to the end of 2021 and into 2022, both municipal and provincial elections loom. BILD will work with the OHBA to deliver a consistent, province-wide election strategy and campaign. We will require the support and engagement of our entire membership to ensure that our perspective is heard and understood. I'm counting on you to help us, your board, the BILD staff, and me personally to succeed in the work that needs to be done. Thank you, Dave, and the incredible team at BILD, and thank you for your support and confidence. I look forward to reporting back to you in the near future to share our progress. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great afternoon. Thank you.